It's Miss Cat from the Wood County District Public Library. I'm so excited for our summer reading program, Imagine Your Story. Have you picked up the new Connect magazine yet? It has summer reading program information and all kinds of other neat things. It has a crown inside at the back for you to make, and you can wear one like I am. It has a fancy map for you to explore while you read this summer. The more you read, the further along your map you go. Also, we have some wonderful training missions because every hero needs a little training to go on their adventure. These also help you move along your reading map. It'll be so much fun. And what a great way to have fun no matter where we are this summer. I imagine all kinds of stories, especially if I'm playing alone. Do you? A good way to start, if you're not sure yet, is by wishing. And that's exactly what happens in this story by Nancy Tillman. It's called You and Me and the Wishing Tree. And I would like to thank Macmillan for permission to use this book. You and Me and the Wishing Tree. Do you hear that rhyme? Me and tree. We woke up in the usual way, but it was not a usual day. Out on the lawn, plain as could be, stood an orange wishing tree. I wish, said I wish, said you, and so our double wishes grew. I kept my wish a secret one, but you were not so shy. You clapped your hands, jumped off the bed, and said, I wish to fly. In just a whistle's worth of time, and not a second more, our feet were not attached to ground the way they'd been before. Up we went, just you and me, high above the wishing tree. We flew in silence, like the birds. It was too beautiful for words. But your wishing wasn't done. Why should you stop with one? In the valley far below, down where all the wishes grow, your wishes grew, both big and small, till I could hardly count them all. In fact, I barely got to 10 because you wished for breakfast then. Do you see all the wishes in the page? I see a bus for ice cream, a sailboat, a bunny in a basket on a bicycle, a zebra, an elephant, a tent for camping, a boat for sailing, a train going to the Ferris wheel. Do you see more? There's a hot air balloon, a lighthouse, ooh, do you see that? A castle. I wish, you said, and just like that, the friends you wished for came and sat. I wish, I wish, I wish, you shouted. Wishes bowed. And played and sprouted. Every wish was wishable, even you, invisible. But as the day began to end, your wishes became quieter then. I saw your silly sleepy head was wishing it was back in bed. And so I did what parents do. I picked you up and carried you. As you drifted off to sleep, you whispered, "Did your wish come true?" I whispered back, "My little one, my wish was just to be with you." The wishing tree. Listen for it in the breeze. It's not like all the other trees. With every rustle, puff, and swish, it says, "I wish, I wish, I wish." What a beautiful story. I loved that one. You and Me and the Wishing Tree by Nancy Tillman. Some great ideas in there for you to make your own wishes and your own imaginative stories. In fact, some of those summer reading program missions I talked about are to write a story. So let's learn a little more about how you might enjoy writing a story. Look, I wrote a book, and you can too. She's holding a book with her in it, holding the book with her in it, holding a book, and it keeps going. I love it. This is written by Sally Lloyd-Jones and illustrated by Neil Layton, and I would like to thank Penguin Random House for permission to use this book. Ooh, look, there's some notes. There's lots of brainstorming that goes on when you write a book. Look, I wrote a book, and you can too. Look at all these supplies. She's used pens and pencils and paper and tape. When you want to write a book, first you need a good idea. You can get one from your brain, your notebook, other people, staring out the window, all around you wherever you go. So many ideas, so many places. Basically, you can write any book you like, except here's what you have to know: what you're talking about. Once upon a time, there was a sausageosaurus. For instance, does that sound right? If you are writing a book about dinosaurs, but you don't know any good dinosaur names, like Diplodocus, Triceratops, or Stegosaurus, or even how to spell Cretaceous, no one will believe anything you say. Baloney, he says, because he read about the dinosaur facts. He knows that's not a real dinosaur. So know what you're talking about. Here's what else you have to know: who it's for. If you're writing a book for your grandma, for example, but it's all about tractors and dump trucks, she will be snoring because it is not even interesting to her. You should write about things grandmas love, like the olden days, or tap dancing, or you. When I was a tiny baby, it seems like just yesterday. If you're writing a bedtime book for babies, you can't have scary monsters inside or they will be screaming and not sleeping. Plus, you can't use big words like fragile or hilarious because they won't understand. You have to use only small ones like blocks or bugs. Next, you sit still and do quiet concentrating and get all your crayons in a row. You must also get a table, a pencil, paper, a stapler, if you're allowed. Your imagination, we talked about that, and a plan. Look at her plan. That looks really fun. Now you need a title, which is what your story is called. Here are some good titles. How to Take Your Penguin for a Walk. This is called a how-to manual. Or Spiders on the Ceiling. This is a horror story. Or Cleaning My Room. This is a tragedy. That means a sad story. Or When I Was a Baby. That would be a history book. Only One Shoe? That would be a mystery. Where's the other shoe? Here are some not so good titles. How to Change a Diaper. History of Lettuce. Remember, your title must be appropriate. For instance, if your book is called Pretty Puppies, but inside are only horrible trolls, readers could be disappointed. Plus, you definitely need a story. Basically, a story has a hero, like you, something she or he wants, like the horse, or something stopping her from getting it, something happening, what goes wrong, how she gets what she wants in the end. Those are all parts of a story. At last, you're completely ready to start writing, so you write a beginning. Here's a bad beginning. First we stood up, next we sat down. That would definitely win the most boring book ever. Here's a good beginning. Praying mantises have 6 legs and mandibles and eat their husbands. This is nonfiction because you absolutely didn't make it up. That means she learned facts about praying mantises that were true and then wrote about them in an exciting way. Or, a daddy had some children. One day, he lost them. This is fiction because you did make it up. Then you write the middle of the story where all the stuff goes, like the daddy was worried. He looked everywhere. Where could he have put them? After that, you write the ending, which comes last. Suddenly, he found them. They were hiding in the closet. He was very happy. The end. If you want people to cry, you write a sad ending. Unfortunately, he didn't ever find them. He was very disappointed. The end. Always put the end so everyone knows the story's over. If you put to be continued, everyone has to read your next book. Now have your juice and snack. Ooh, look at that healthy apple and banana. You probably should have words and pictures in your book. If you have no words, some people might not know what's happening and say, I don't get it. And if you don't even have one picture, then it might send everyone to sleep. When you're finished, you can show your book to your friends, and they might say things like, this baby is not very fascinating, or I think we need more bunnies in here. Here's what else they might say. That was the most fantastic book ever. Are those bunnies or dinosaurs? Can there be a lightsaber, That was really long. Then you go away and draw better bunnies and cut the part out, the boring baby just sleeping, which means you revise it, which means it gets even better. So you think about the suggestions your friends gave you, and the ones that make sense to change, you change. Now you stick the pages together and make page numbers. You must be able to count. You can all do that, right? And next you draw your best picture with lots of colors in it, and it goes on the front, and that's the cover. The cover of the book. Put your name here, where you've written and illustrated it. And on the back, you put what famous people thought of your book. Use quote marks to quote a friend, or a parent, or a sibling. And you could put about the author and give important historical facts about you, like how old you are, or how many sisters and brothers you have, or your favorite color, or if you have a pet, or how many millions of cartwheels you can do without even stopping. Now you get people to buy your book. For instance, you could be friendly, or give them cookies, or let them play with your trucks. I don't recommend you tie them to the chair. And that's how you write a book, to be an author. And then you just go back to being a normal person. Or you could start your next book, which is called a sequel, and write things like how to write another book, or the return of the spiders on the ceiling, or the daddy who lost his children again, or the other shoe comes home. Ah, look, she crossed out the end and instead wrote, to be continued. There's her about the author and about the illustrator. And there's the back with the quotes. So much fun this summer with imagining our stories. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with.